Why has this information been kept from the public?
Would you agree that it's likely that they are being piloted by some mind-body connection?
Ma'am, I think it is safe to presume here that they are being intelligently controlled because some cases seem to anticipate our maneuvers.
Hi guys, Ben Leo here, and we're diving into a story that's pretty close to my heart. One that's, I guess, had me starry-eyed since I was a lad, gazing up at the night sky, dreaming of what might be out there in the cosmos. So it's a tale that's straight out of a sci-fi novel, but it's happening right here, right now, in our world. So hold on to your seats, because what I'm about to tell you is nothing short of extraordinary. So you see, ever since I was a kid, I've been fascinated by space and UFOs. I'd spend hours in the garden with my little telescope hoping to catch a glimpse of something unexplainable in the night sky. Well, folks, it seems like that childlike wonder wasn't misplaced after all, because a video showing a white orb UFO coming out of the ocean off Kuwait has been found on the US Department of Defense's own computer network. So yes, you heard that right. A UFO caught on camera, and it's not some grainy footage from a shaky mobile phone. This is high definition colour video straight from the US military's own classified systems. Now, you might be thinking, has your childhood obsession finally got the better of you, Ben? No. Listen, bear with me, because this story gets even more bizarre. So this revelation came during a congressional hearing on Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, or UAPs as they're now calling them. A fancy name for UFOs if you ask me, but let's not go too bogged down in the semantics. Journalist Michael Schellenberger, a founder of the Public News Service, dropped this bombshell during his testimony. He said that a source told him about this 13-minute long video filmed from a helicopter showing an orb 20 miles off the coast of Kuwait. But here's where it gets really interesting. Schellenberger said, and I quote, "Then, halfway through the video, the person said the orb is joined by another orb that briefly comes into the frame from the left before rapidly moving again out of the frame." Two orbs, two unidentified flying objects caught on camera by the US military. I've got to tell you, my inner child is doing backflips right now, because this is the kind of thing I used to dream about as a kid, and now it's happening in real life. So look, I would love to show you this footage right now, but it's not released in the public. We've only had a description of it, a verbal description in a congressional hearing. So it does exist, but it's in the hands of politicians in Congress. And this video wasn't found in some dusty archive or on a conspiracy theorist's hard drive. No. It was discovered on SIPR, the Secure Internet Protocol Router Network that the Department of Defense uses to transmit classified information. You keeping up? Now, let's take a moment to listen to Luis Elizondo, who's the former head of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, speaking at today's hearing.
I looked at everything from a scientific perspective. So if you look at, for example, instantaneous acceleration, which was one of the observables of the program that I belong to, ATIP, the human body can withstand about 9 G-forces for a short period of time before you suffer negative biological consequences, blackouts and ultimately redouts and even death. Comparison, our best technology, the F-16, which is this older platform, but one of our most highly maneuverable aircraft, manned aircraft, made by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G-forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
So he says the vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs, he says. These objects are reacting to human movement and are incredibly maneuverable. We're talking about technologies that outperform anything in our military inventory. Wow. So let that sink in for a moment. Objects that can withstand forces thousands of times greater than gravity, that can outmaneuver our most advanced military aircraft. And if that doesn't make you sit up and take notice, I don't know what will, because it's like something out of a sci-fi book I used to devour as a kid. But it's happening right here, right now, on Earth. But it doesn't stop there, because Representative Anna Paulina Luna asked Elizondo about the nature of these UAP pilots. Are they interdimensional? Are they living craft? Let's take a listen to his response.
Would you agree that it's likely that they are being piloted by some mind-body connection?
Ma'am, I think it is safe to presume here that they are being intelligently controlled because some cases seem to anticipate our maneuvers, and in other cases they seem to, I came across an email where the word stalked was used in a very secure email between Navy officers discussing their ships being pursued by a UAP.
So Elizondo's response is cautious, but it's telling, right? He doesn't rule out these possibilities, which in itself is quite extraordinary. It's the kind of thing that would have had me up all night as a boy, imagining the possibilities of what might be out there in the universe. Now, you might be thinking, surely our government would tell us if they knew about alien life or technology. Well, hold on to your hats, because this next bit of information might just blow them clean off. During the hearing, Representative Nancy Mace, who co-chaired the session, brought out a 12-page document. This wasn't just any document, by the way. It purportedly details a classified UAP crash retrieval program known as Immaculate Constellation. Let's listen to Michael Schellenberger as he exposes this secret program.
We have a right to know what UAPs are, no matter what they are. However, we now have existing and former U.S. government officials who have told Congress that AARO and the Pentagon have broken the law by not revealing a significant body of information about UAPs, including military intelligence databases that have evidence of their existence as physical craft. One of those individuals is a current or former U.S. government official acting as a UAP whistleblower. This person has written a report. This is the report that says the executive branch has been managing UAP NHI issues without congressional knowledge, oversight, or authorization for some time, quite possibly decades. The source of that document told me, that the USAP is a strategic intelligence program that is part of the U.S. military family of longstanding, highly sensitive programs dealing with various aspects of the UAP problem. The new UAP whistleblower claims that the U.S. military and IC database includes videos and images taken using infrared, forward-looking infrared, full-motion video, and still photography. The report that was just shared with Congress says Immaculate Constellation serves as a central or parent USAP that consolidates observations of UAPs by both tasked and untasked collection platforms. And since my reporting on this Immaculate Constellation last month, another source came forward who told me that they saw a roughly 13-minute long, high-definition, full-color video of a white orb UAP coming out of the ocean approximately 20 miles off the coast of Kuwait. It was filmed from a helicopter. Then halfway through the video, the person said the orb is joined by another orb that briefly comes into the frame from the left before rapidly moving again out of the frame. The person discovered the video on SIPR, the Secure Internet Protocol Router Network, which the DoD uses to transmit classified information. A leading UAP researcher who utilizes the Freedom of Information Act to find out what the government knows, John Greenwald, told me last year that the U.S. government had been increasingly denying his requests for UAP information. He has been doing FOIA requests for 27 years and has an archive of 3 million pages. The government has for decades denied any interest in UFOs, he told me, but the documents that he has assembled show that behind the scenes it was a completely different story. Contrary to the hopes of many advocates of transparency, the government has been restricting more information since the leak of 3 UAP videos in 2017. The DoD organization AARO has been labeling many documents with a B7 exemption, which Greenwald says does not make any sense.
Wow, so Schellenberger claims that a whistleblower, either a current or former US government official, wrote this report, and it states that, quote, the executive branch has been managing UAP issues without congressional knowledge, oversight, or authorization for some time, possibly decades. And here's the kicker. Mace said she'd been warned that even mentioning the program's name in public would land her on a list. A list? What kind of list? Her response? Come at me, bro, I guess. Now, that's what I call speaking truth to power. But let's step back for a moment and consider what all of this means. We have high-definition video of UFOs captured by the US military. We have testimony from former defense officials about objects that defy our understanding of physics. And we have allegations of a secret government program to retrieve and study crashed UFOs. So this isn't just about little green men or flying saucers anymore. This, as far as I'm concerned, is about national security, about technological advancements that could change the course of human history. And it's about government transparency, of course, or, I guess, the lack thereof. Elizondo also testified that there's definitely enough data, quote unquote, to suggest a relationship between these UAPs and sensitive US military installations, nuclear facilities, and Department of Energy sites. Are these objects, whatever they are they interested in our most critical infrastructure? And if so, why? The implications are staggering. If these objects are indeed of extraterrestrial origin, it means we're not alone in the universe. If they're from a foreign power, it means someone has technology that far outstrips our own. And if there's something else entirely, well, that might be the most mind-bending possibility of all. But perhaps the most troubling aspect of all this is the secrecy. Why has this information been kept from the public? Why has Congress been kept in the dark? These are questions that demand answers. And as Elizondo put it, quote, excessive secrecy, unquote, has led to grave misdeeds to hide the fact we are not alone in the cosmos. Music to my ears, by the way. He claims we're in the midst of a multi-decade secretive arms race, one funded by misallocated taxpayer dollars and hidden from our elected representatives and oversight bodies. Now, I know some of you might be sceptical, of course. You might be thinking this is all just some mad conspiracy theory nonsense, but I urge you to look at the evidence, look at the credibility of the witnesses. These aren't tinfoil hat wearing crackpots. These are military officials, government insiders and respected journalists too. And remember, it wasn't so long ago that the idea of government spying on its own citizens seems like a paranoid fantasy, and we all know how that turned out over the past few years. So, what do we do with all this information? Well, for starters, we demand answers. We demand transparency. We demand that our elected officials do their jobs and hold the executive branch accountable, because if there's even a grain of truth to these allegations, it means our world is a far stranger and more wondrous place than we ever imagined. And we, the public, you at home, have a right to know about it. This is a serious business. If these UAPs are real, and if they're doing the things witnesses claim they can do, it could revolutionise our understanding of physics, of space, of energy production, and indeed space travel. The potential benefits to humanity are almost beyond our comprehension. And yet, there is a part of me that is a little bit scared, not of the UAPs themselves, mind you, but of what their existence might mean for us as a species. Are we ready for this kind of paradigm shift? Are we mature enough as a civilization to handle the knowledge and the power that we're not alone in the universe? Or that there are technologies out there that make our most advanced systems look like child's play? These are the questions that keep me up at night, just like thoughts of alien visitors used to when I was just a little boy. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because this, ladies and gents, is the stuff of wonder. It's the kind of story that reminds us just how vast and mysterious our universe really is. So tonight, after you've tucked up the kids in bed, why not step outside, look up at the stars, and who knows, you might just see something that makes you question everything you thought you knew about our place in the cosmos. This is Ben Leo, reporting for GB News. Good night, and keep watching the skies. I know I will. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the GB News YouTube channel. See you there.